Flexibility versus mobility. What is the difference? What should you be trying to improve? Do you need to spend time doing stretching before or after a session or throughout the week? Is it important? Let's go through it all today. First thing to do is to separate the two. Flexibility is your ability to be able to bring a joint or a muscle through a particular range of motion, like so. Perfect demonstration is this lady here on the right. Foot all the way up over her head, holding on with her two hands. Super, super flexible. Now think about what's going to happen if she lets go of her foot. Her foot will drop back down to the floor. There is no way that she's going to be able to hold that up there. And that's because there is no strength or coordination. She's just able to pull it up, super flexible. Now if you look at this lady on the left hand side, she has to be flexible, has to be able to get into that position, but she also has to be strong in that range of motion down there and coordinated because she has a ton of weight over her head. And that's what mobility is. So mobility is a combination of flexibility, strength, and coordination in those particular ranges of motion. And that's what we want. How do we improve mobility? The single best thing you can do to improve mobility is strength train. And that is because when you are strength training, particularly on the eccentric portion of the lift, so take a bench press, going from the top to the bottom, you're resisting gravity, stopping that bar from smashing you in the chest. You are strengthening the muscle, but also you are lengthening and stretching it at the same time. You're getting strong in that bottom end range position. That is the best thing you can do to improve your mobility. And a well-made program is going to look after the vast majority of your mobility work. Now, there are some people that are just generally tight. You know, you might go into the gym and you might be able to drop into a good squat. So if squatting is one of the best things that you can do to improve your mobility, yet you can't get into a squat, what do we do? Well, that's when we put in specific drills and mobility work to temporarily improve your range of motion so that you can then go into a squat and make the shit stick. So when you do all the static stretching, foam rolling, isometric holding, soft tissue work, anything like that, it's only very temporary. It's not going to stick. So just remember that when you're stretching out your hamstrings by the couch for 10, 15 minutes, it's only temporary. It's not going to last very long. And for you to make that stick, you should be doing something like a Romanian deadlift and getting really strong in that stretch position. So if you have any areas that you find are very tight, generally speaking, it's the calves, it's the hips, it's often the shoulders, and you can't get into a good position, something just feels crappy and off, it's your job to say to your coach, because we'll give you the specific drills that you need to temporarily open up those tissues so that you can then go into the exercise, perform it very well, and then start to gain strength in that range of motion for you to improve your mobility long term. The wee bit of stretching that you'll see people do after training or standalone by itself, when you're at the couch and that, generally doesn't stick very well. And that's because, as I said, it's a very, very temporary thing. It's a neurophysiological response. It's basically a sensory input overriding another sensory input. So you think about it this way. Basketball hits your finger, hurts, you shake your finger, the pain kind of goes away. So when you have a super tight hamstring, you do a hamstring stretch, you come out of the hamstring stretch and you think, oh yeah, that feels better. It's one sensory input overriding the other sensory input. And it doesn't stick for very long. And that's why it's important to then gain the strength in that range of motion for you to improve your mobility long term. So I've kind of answered the last part here already. Foam rollers, soft tissue, what's the crack with it? So you'll see a lot of people rolling around with foam rollers for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes before they do a session. Large waste of time. If you find that foam rolling your glutes or your quads or your hip flexors before doing a squat helps you drop into a deeper squat, do it. But make sure you're rolling for only a couple of minutes, then go into your squat, see if it's helped, see if it's improved your position, and then work up on your squats. You can jump back and forth into the foam roller and the squats until you feel 100%, but don't foam roll for 20, 30, 40 minutes and waste all of your time in the gym, because it's not going to give you any more benefit. And as I said, it's a very temporary fix that you need to then go in and then train that movement pattern. And as I said earlier on, if you notice that your calves are super, super tight, your hips, your back, your shoulders, whatever it may be, do say to your coach, whether that's me or somebody else, and what we'll do is we'll have a chit chat and see what kind of exercises or mobility drills we recommend putting into place to make you feel better. That's it for me. Thanks for listening. See you in the next one.